prosperity. So that raga has so much power. So if you start, I'll just sing a few lines of this raga, the kirtana, you will easily see how the handling of the notes itself is from the base only, from the Mooladhara only in this particular kriti Dikshitar has sung. Again, you'll be amazed. Words are small, but the way the words are handled and elongated, such a big Bhutakara kriti for such a tiny Ganapati, will really be amazed. And one more thing, Sri Raga, the one characteristic phrase is introduction of the. Padani pamari ga ga re sa re re ga re sa. That the does not come in this kriti. Maybe in other kritis of Dikshitar it comes, but in this it is not there. Shri Mula Dhara Chakravi Nayaka Shri Mula Adhara Chakravi Nayaka Shri Mula Adhara Chakravi Nayaka Amulyavara Pradaya Ka. Except in one place, in no other phrase, you don't go beyond the re at all in this kriti in the Pallavi. So it is not so very easy to sing this kriti melodiously, beautifully, and with a lot of gambhirya and the lower notes. And again I say, there is only one person who does it admirably, brilliantly, my Guru. Excuse me for bringing her into the picture, but I just cannot avoid it because no other rendering gives the effect. When she takes that Sri in that re, Sri Yemo. When we all learn, we used to learn in the higher up. Sri Yemo La. That's an easier way of rendering it. The same note, when you render it up, it is easy when you learn. It's not easy to sing the same note with gambhirya and the lower registers. It requires a lot of the nada. That is where your upasana, the pranava sound comes there. When you take that re, re sa sa ni pa ni sa re 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 ga re sa ni sa sa. That is why you have Tyagaraja has also exploited that re notes in the Sri Raga Pancharatnam. Lot of the endaro. He doesn't sing in the higher note at all there. Mahanu Bhavalu Andariki Vandanamu. I salute. So when I salute, I see only your feet. So when will you see your feet? Only you fall down. Go down to the depths. That's what he is trying to say in this Etaro Mahanubhavalu. Coming back to the kriti, this Vinayaka is capable of giving Amulya Varapradayaka. Can I have the time, please? I get lost. So 11:40. When do you want me to stop? 12:15. Okay, so we'll do this Ganapati and see what else can we do. Maybe one more. Because I didn't think instead of doing a very broad survey, that doesn't, you cannot relish Dikshitar that way. Every phrase, everything has to be savored. So how much Ganapati gives us, we'll savor. How many laddus and how many modaks he gives, enough. Maybe our stomachs will be full, that's why he's deciding so. Amulya Varapradayaka. Dikshitar says, I cannot even tell what kind of boons he will give. Again, Mula Ajnana Shoka Vinashaka. Mula Ajnana Shoka Vinashaka. Can there be anything else which you will want? Dikshitar is asking. We always worship Ganapati, but for material ends. He says, no, he is able to give even Mula Ajnana Shoka Vinashaka. Mula Jnana is again a technical term in Advaita. The avidya, which blinds. I will not say which blinds, that's not the correct phrase. It is because of avidya that the individual jiva is not able to realize the Brahman. So that Ajnana causes shoka. Shoka is what we experience of the world. We think it is true. It is an illusion, but we don't know and we get immersed in it. That will go only when the illusion is dispelled. So that shoka, that illusion he dispels. Mula Ajnana Shoka Vinashaka. Shoka Vinashaka Mula Kandamoti Pradayaka Shri Mula. Mula Jnana Shoka Vinashaka Mula Kanda. See, again as I said, the material cause. Mukti Pradayaka, he gives you mukti. Sakadi Krita Deye Vadi Deva Shabali Krita Sarvanya Swabhava. Lines may be simple, but Sakali Krita Devadi Deva is the composite form of all the deities. All whatever, that is why it is said you worship Pilayar. It is not necessary that you do any other worship at all. Prathama Pujya. That is why there is a Purandaradasa Kruti also on that. Bandi Suveda Tiyali Gananatana Sandehamilla Sri Hariya Jayidu Bandi Suveda. Lord Hari has said you worship Ganapati first, that is enough. Because he is the composite from all the deities, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, all the 33 crores of devatas reside in the form of Ganapati itself. Both metaphorically and also in the Ganapati visualization, you do have each deity placed at each corner of the Ganapati, whether it is a yantra or either. That is what is saying. Shabalikrita Sarvajna Swabhava. That is Sarvajnatva is a quality in the Upanishad. I would not say it's a quality of Brahma Swarupa. That he absolutely embodies in full the omniscience that is spoken of in the Upanishads. Shabalikrita Brahma Swabhava, Prakatikrita Vaikhari Swabhava. Vaikhari, as I said, is the final level of speech. He is able to manifest only if there is a grace of Ganapati, we cannot speak at all. So that final speech is again. Vaikhari Swabhava, topmost note, because it is the topmost level of speech. Parabhava Prasiddha Gajagriva, who is very formidable. He is known for even destroying formidable opponents, formidable obstacles, and that is why we worship him. And the next is a very important concept. Vikata Shakshata Shwasadhikara Vichitrakara Bhaktopakara Vikata Shrigarisa. Again, the characteristic Sri Rama. Shakshata Shwasadhikara Vichitrakara Bhaktopakara Akalanka Vibhaswara Vigneshwara Hara Guru Guha Sodaralam Bodara. You end up swaying along with the raga, swaying along with the song when you start visualizing Ganapati dancing on the Mooladhara. Vikata Shakshata Shwasadhikara. He is the Lord of Vikata. His name is Vikata. One of the names, Lambodharasta Vikato, it comes in the 16 names. Vikata means also a very pranky kind of person, joyful. That is one aspect. Another is Vikata, Vinayaka is a very great form of Vinayaka which is described in the Mudgala Purana and other Puranas. He was one Rishi worshipped that form for the destruction of some great Asura. So Vikata Vinayaka is there. And there is also a Vikata Chakra Vinayaka temple in Kanchipuram, which is very famous for a very nice detail connected with Lord Vishnu. It's a very nice story, so I'll just tell that story also. Lord Vishnu once went to Kailas. Ganapati was playing on the outer gates of Kailas. Vishnu went there. Vishnu was Ganapati's uncle, right? So he was very happy to see his mama, and both of them, he took him in his arms and kissed him. Ganapati, as usual, very mischievous. He saw that shining chakra which Vishnu had. Are you familiar with that story? Okay, then I'll tell it. Because we are familiar, we don't need to go into it. He with his trunk, he just took away that chakra. How mischievous. And put it in its mouth. So Vishnu without a chakra, you just cannot imagine a Vishnu without a chakra. Whole world is watching. Oh my God, what to do? Vishnu is so flustered. Give back my chakra, give me. He pleads. Ganapati doesn't say anything, just keeps it in his mouth and sits like this. So he tries everything. Then finally, he decides to do something which will make him laugh. So then he, with his 4 hands, he caught hold of his ears and started doing this. That is what is called Dorbhik Karana. Dorbhihi Karanam became Stopuk Karanam in Tamil. Whenever you see Pullayar, you do this. He did that with his 4 hands, he did this. With his 4 hands, he took hold of his ears and started sitting up and down. Obviously, 4 hands, and Vishnu wearing all that kirita and jewels, and only 1 hand he has that shankha. How shankha would have been placed, and imagine that real comedy scene. No wonder Pullayar was very happy. Clapped his hands and he smiled, the chakra came out. Vishnu gathered it up and just exited. Just ran away, my God. Next you don't know what he will take. But that minute Pullayar said, whoever does this particular ritual, and that's why wherever you see a Pullayar, whether you do worship or not is immaterial. Just do this, that is enough. He is so happy with that. That is the story of Vikata Chakra Vinayaka. So he's indicating Vikata, then the next comes a very totally opposite esoteric concept, Shakshada Shwasa Vikara. He is the Lord of 600 breaths, Shakshada Shwasa. He is a Lord of every breath we take, that is there. But here it is a yogic science Dikshitar is telling, because in the morning, early morning, generally a human being takes 21,600 breaths per day. They are divided into parts. As food for each section has a presiding deity. So in the morning 6 to 6:40 a.m. 6 to 6:40 a.m. we take 600 breaths. Every human being. And Ganapati is the Lord of that 600 breaths. That is what Dikshitar is saying. It's a yogic shastra, yogic point. Hara Guru Guha Lambodara. So I think next slide please. Yeah, this is again, we talked about his yogic aspect, and that other earlier kriti, Bhaktopakara. We finished with the word there. Bhaktopakara. He comes to help out his devotees. So that one particular kriti from that section, where he helped a particular devotee, I would like to tell him that. We won't go into the whole kriti because I would like to do just one more kriti. So Shri Mahaganapati Ravatuma. Maybe many of you would have heard this kriti. Shri Mahaganapati Ravatuma Siddhi Vinayako Matanga Mukha Shri Mahaganapati Ravatuma Siddhi Vinayako Matanga Mukha Shri Ganapati Ravatuma. You may have heard this or may not because it's a bit rare. It is usually sung at the start of the Kamalamba Navavarnam also. This is as Dhyana Kriti for the Gaula Raga in Mishra Chaputalam. Kama Janaka Vidhindra Sannuta Kamalalaya. The earlier slide, the tank. Tiruvarur is very famous for the temple and 5 acres, Anjiveli they say. The same amount of size the tank. Kamalalaya tank is so huge. I will say one of the most biggest temple tanks in the history of the world itself. So on the banks of this tank is a very small temple actually. Again, you can easily pass it as you drive along. It is called Matturaitha Pillayar. It's a very different form of Pillayar. Matturaitha Pillayar on the banks of the next. This is the inner Pillayar. Kama Janaka Vidhindra Sannuta. All of these people, Kama Janaka is Vishnu. Then you have Brahma, Indra. They worshipped Kamalalaya. That is what Dikshitar is saying. They worshipped Thiruvarur, Lord Valmiki Natha. That is the next step. This tank is so famous that all of them worship the very tank. The tank even today has, I think, 64 guards. Each guard has a story by itself. So that is you'll have to have a Kamalalaya Kshetra Mahatmyam, something you have to deal with alone. So even in the Kshetra details, it talks about how Lord Valmika Linga of Thiruvarur came and saved all the Devas. So that is a detail he is mentioning there. Our point of interest is the Charanam first line. Suvarna Gharshana Vignarajo Padamujo Gauravarna. Gauravarna, at that place we have the Gaula Raga. Raga Mutra has come. Suvarna Gharshana Vignarajo. It is usually everyone sings Suvarna Gharshana. It is not so. Suvarna Gharshana. So that is the mythology here is of Sundaramurti Nayanar. He was very famous, one of the 4 upper Sundara, Nalvar, the Devaram, Shaivite singers. Sundaramurti Nayanar, that is Sundaramurti Nayanar. He was the one who could converse with Lord Shiva on a Sakhya Bhava. So much so that whatever he asks, God will give him. Whatever he wants. He loved one wife, he loved one girl. Lord performed that wedding. He went and loved another girl in another place and said, don't tell this to my first wife. He did that. Then when he came back to Thiruvarur, his first wife came to know about it. She shut the doors. He went to Shiva and said, my first wife was not letting me in. Please go as messenger. Lord Shiva went. He went. That description is there in a great Devaram also. How the Lord with hold, he goes to the house of that devotee's wife. And then he pleads with her not once, twice, thrice he goes. Because that is the level of relationship, that level of bhakti. It may seem a very, very funny story nowadays, not relevant. See, this guy had 2 wives. No, it was not there. That is already, a pre-story is there in Kailasa. So Shiva sent 2 damsels and Sundaramurti Nayanar to earth for the revival of Shaivism. So that story is a separate thing. It's not as what I am telling now. There is much more meaning in that. But why I am telling is the kind of rapport a devotee is able to share with his Lord. You think of God as not someone who sits in a temple and we have to worship and do namaskar. Adopt him as someone in your own family, in any way, in any relationship. So Sundaramurti always used to keep on asking something or other. He lost one eye, he said, give me back my other eye. Lord took away his another eye. He said, why? I asked you for the other one eye, you took away my other eye. So give me back that eye. One by one he gets back, but each has a padigam, a hymn to it. So many incidents for Sundaramurti Nayanar. He is famous for asking God lots of money always. I want this, I want golden coins because my wife wants it. That will be the next, but actually it is not so. Wife wants it because she was an equal Shaiva devotee and they used that money to take care of all the Shaivite devotees in that region or wherever they went, and when festival took places to fund the festivals. So for that only he was asking money. Main story is he asked for money, right? So there is a place called Viddhachalam near Kadalur. So that Shivan, when Sundaramurti Nayanar, Padamalai Nadarnanda, that Shivan is called, Sundaramurti Nayanar went there. He asked for some lot of gold, not some. God gave lot of gold coins, gold bricks. Yes. How will you carry it? Always the fear of thieves was there. So he said, how do you expect me to carry it? The Lord said, you put it in my temple tank here, Manimuttar. The river is Manimuttar there. Okay, once you put it in the tank, how will I get it? So don't worry. It will surface at your Kamalalaya tank in Thiruvarur, the tank which I showed. How is that possible? So what he did, those days when there was no ATM, the Lord said, yes, it will come, you believe me. He didn't believe. He took one gold brick and kept it inside, just to see what, we don't know what, because Lord always plays with his devotee, right? So then he comes back to this, and then he goes to his wife. See, I asked so many gold coins, he has already given, it is there. Where is it? You have not brought any. Go take it from the temple tank. She said, obviously, what do you mean? Go to a temple tank and take gold coins? Are you mad or something? You believe me, right? You believe Lord Shiva, go. That is a wife there. She goes there, she doesn't find any coins there. Obviously, Lord plays again. So Sundarar is a bit upset. Oh my God, this is at Tiruvaru. Vrindachalam is near Kadalur. He sings a Padigam. There is a hymn of 10 stanzas. Ordinary gold, this comes on the top, gold coins come floating on the temple tank. Actually, there is the Utsava for this particular incident which still takes place in Tiruvaru. So he very happily takes it and shows it to his wife. She believes. He doesn't believe. He wants to check whether these are the very same gold coins of the same gold purity which my Lord gave me there. You don't know. They could be fake, right? Because he loves to play with me. So clever. He took out the one gold coin which he had. He took out this and started matching. He had a feeling, oh, this is 24 karat. What God gave me. This is only 22. It is less. He had doubts. So then Lord Shiva sends that Pillayar earlier one. That is this Pillayar who comes next. That is the middle one. He comes in the form of a goldsmith, and then he does what is called the Gharshana. That is, Orashi Pakardhan, they tell it in Tamil. Touchstone. Each gold coin he did like this and see, absolute pure. Pattaramata Tangamnu we say. It's pure, don't worry. It's pure, don't worry. Poor little Pillayar did it. And that is the little Pillayar who is sitting on the tank till this date. And that is the story which Dikshitar condenses in Suvarna Dharshana Vignaraja. Matru Uraitha Pillayar. Tangathai Uraithu Tandar. Tamil Chalonona. Just half a phrase. You just keep on singing. You don't even know it has so much of elements, so much of devotion, that interlinking between. See, Lord Shiva need not have played at all. No necessity. Okay, you ask for, you got. But that story ends there, right? There is nothing spicy about it. So even if you test, that point is again Sundarar sings another 10 stanzas. So Lord wanted to see for this one gold incident, he got about 3 or 4 sets of Devarams for him. So Lord loves to hear Bhaktal sing. That is also one sideliner here. The more you sing, the more he likes. So all that is condensed into this very, very small phrase, Suvarna Garshana Vignaraja. We'll go to the next Ganapati because I think that should be the last one. What's the time, please? I have another 10 minutes, yes. That was an unusual, Sri Mahaganapati Ravatumam was a very unusual Ganapati. Okay? And with the words Mahaganapati, Dikshitar has sung other Kirtanes also. You have the famous, ever famous Nata, Mahaganapati. Of course, there are debates whether that was Dikshitar or not, but still. Then Mahaganapati Palaya Shumam, Natanarayani. Then one very famous Kriti in Todi. But we'll just do that later if I get time. Mahaganapati Mande, that's in Todi, and again a very rare one. It is usually sung at the beginning of the Abhayamba set of Vibhakti Kirtanes. This is a real mantric form of Mahaganapati. Mahaganapati as such in Mantra Shastra, how it is described, this is how it is. Which he has a whole Jnana Shloka, he has a whole Bija Mantra, and this is the usual Mahaganapati Upasakas worship this form of Ganapati with the mantra. For people like us, see the greatness of Dikshitar. Not everyone can take up Mantropasana, something beyond. That is why maybe Dikshitar composed the Navavarna Kirtanes, so that we may not be able to do the elaborate rituals, but just sing this one Kriti or that Kriti, that. But the point is how you sing it, with Shraddha, with Bhakti, which are the amount of purity you can observe. That will really give the absolute results of any mantric or tantric sadhana. This is the Mahaganapati Kriti. Namastu Vyam Sthitaya Stivadanaya. I've eschewed some of the Sangatis. Very magnificent. It's a Raga Navroj. Very magnificent Navroj. Very magnificent Kirtanai. You can really feel a big, grand Mahaganapati seated Atakamaya Mandape. Some people say this is in Tiruvarur, but not necessarily so here. Just say Atakamaya means a golden Mandapa. It does not, because they say Tiruvarur is Ataka Kshetra, they say this may have been composed there, but not necessarily. In a golden Simhasana, Ganapati is a regal Ganapati. Hasti Kriti Vasana Dhararchita Maha Ganapaya Tattvaswarupaya. He says Lord Shiva worshipped him. The phrase he uses is Hasti Kriti Vasana Dhara, in rhyming with Hasti Vadana. Hasti Kriti is the Hasti Kritivasa icon is a famous icon of Lord Shiva, famous Murti, Gajasamhara Murti it is called, when he killed the Asura, Gajasamhara. So that he wore the elephant skin as his own garment. That is what he is saying. The one who wears elephant skin, Lord Shiva worships you. Mahaganapaya. And who is the Tattva Swarupa, Tattva of the Upanishads? He. Samasta Bhaktanugrahaya Maya Lingita Vigrahaya. He is one who blesses all devotees. Maya Lingita Vigrahaya. Ganesha, there are many forms of Ganesha with consort. Vallabha Ganapati is again a similar form. Then you have the Uchishta Ganapati, Shakti Ganapati. Incidentally, Dikshitar has a very cute notice for a Sahityam which even kids sing. Shakti Sahita Ganapatim Shankaradi Sevitam. That's on a lighter way. But this Shakti here, Dikshitar says, male and female principle on the iconographical side. On the other side, he says it is Maya. So Ganapati represents the Brahma Swarupa of the Upanishads, and the Shakti or the Devi is the Maya. The whole concept of Maya, again I won't go in detail because that will take another lecture altogether, and I don't know whether you people will endure another 2 hours of Vedanta, at least not this time. So that Maya Limita Vigrahaya, and the cream on the cake, as I say. The whole of the Charanam, in detail, it conforms to what is called the Mahaganapati Dhyana Shloka. I will not say that shloka because it is supposed to be esoteric. The shloka envisages Mahaganapati in this form with all the whatever he is having in his hands. That is what Dikshitar describes here. Kamalotpala Pashankusha Chakrekshu Karmukha Vriyagragada Nija Vishana Matunanga Ratnaka Lasha Dharana Karambujaya Pada Pankajaya Nimalaya Vishwotpati Sthiti Vilayaya Karunalaya. That whole phrase, as I said, if you want more details, please refer to my book. I was planning on reading out what each is supposed to mean, but no time. So I have dealt with in detail in my book and other iconographical forms also, which I don't have the time to do now. The point is, here we have another poetical description. Himadritanayanana pankaja hiranya Garbhaya Sumanase. Himadri Tanaya is Parvati. Her face, Anana, is because Sanskrit I wanted to tell. Anana Pankaja, her face is like a lotus, and you are like Hiranya Garbhaya to that lotus. Hiranya Garbha is one of the names of Surya. See the appropriate choice of the words. You could have said Surya, that doesn't rhyme with this. Himadri and Hiranya Garbha, the he rhymes here. You are the lotus, the sun which makes your mother's face blue. Then he brings the Raga Mudra. Umaramana Kumara Guru Guha Samanavarodjase Mahase. Umaramana, Lord Shiva, Guru Guha, his mudra. You are equal in them to what? Samana Varojase. Ojas means divine radiance, Shaurya, Tejas, etc. You are equal to them in this. But the point is how beautifully Navaro Raujase, he has brought out the Raga Mudra. It is not a Suchika Raga Mudra. It is not a very open Raga Mudra like Hamsadvari Ghoshita. Meaningful Raga Mudra. That also Dikshitar is noted for. So we'll go to the next kriti. This is again Vallabha Ganapati at Tiruvarur. Dikshitar has supposed to be at Tiruvarur. This, and there is one more Kirtane on this Shakti Ganapati, Vallabha Ganapati, Vama Kastiteya. We will go to the next. This is at Tiruvarur. Then maybe the last kriti of this day, the Todi kriti. Mahaganapatim Vande Madhavadya Bharabrandam. We were going about Mahaganapati, so this is one Kirtanani. It is sung at the beginning of Abhayamba Navavarna Kritis. My another illustrious Guru, Srimati Kalpagam Swaminathan, Veena exponent. Abhayamba Vibhakti Kritis. So this is the Ganesha Kriti. The Anupallavi section. Ahadirahitam Shakti Sahitam. After that, the whole Todi is covered in a beautiful way as if Lord Vinayaka is raising his trunk. Ananda Dantave Tam Anandadam Tam Ekadantam. So on the Danta, the rhyming here is again one who gives bliss and who is also Ekadanta. Tripuravatartham Shivena Trayam Bakena Chitam. Very specifically, Dikshitar says, Shiva worshipped you before the Tripura Samhara. And this is a sculpture for Tripura Samhara Murti. Lord Shiva, there were 3 asuras who had got boons that they could build citadels in air, literally. And they used to emit fire from those cities and they caused havoc and destruction. So Shiva took this particular Murti of Tripura Samhara. Mount Meru is the bow. The string was Vasuki, was the bowstring, though it may not be very clear. You have Brahma as the charioteer here. You have the 4 Vedas as the 4 horses. Then the chariot, then Surya and Chandra as the wheels of the chariot. So it is said that, the story goes that Shiva did not Surya and Chandra below. Brahma is the charioteer. Those are the Tripurasuras there. Many depictions are there. This was really very awesome. Then you have the Mahaganapati here also seated. Actually, Mahaganapati was not there earlier in the picture because it is said Lord Shiva did not worship Mahaganapati. So net result, he started out with all army, the axle broke of the chariot. So then he understood what was to be done and did Mahaganapati worship, then everything became right. This place, the incident where this took place is still there. It is called Acharapakam. in Chengalpet district. It's nearby that area, this incident where the axle broke and Lord worshipped. So that Dikshitar is saying here, Tripura Vadhartam Shivena Trayambakena Architam Upanishad Pratipaditam Uma Maheshwara Sutam. He said he is spoken about as the ultimate principle in the Upanishads. Then Uma Maheshwara, Kameshwara Mukhaloka Kalpita Sri Ganeshwara. That is the name that occurs in Lalita Sahasranamam for Devi. That is what he is saying. Devi just looked at the Lord and Ganapati was born. One interesting phrase is fourth line. Kapilam Krishna Pujitam Kapilam Krishna Pujitam Karivanarena Shopitam. Krishna Pujitam. Lord Krishna worshipped Ganesha. Any ideas when? Some of you may know. Yes? Next. Actually, I wanted to do that separate kriti. The Siddhivinayakam kriti is supposed to be specifically for Ganesh Chaturthi Puja, because Adrapadamasa Chaturthyam Brahmanadi Pujitam. The Chaturthi Vrata is mentioned in that particular Kirtana. And you have Rauhineya Mujarchitam. Rauhineya, that is the son of Rohini, that is Balarama. He is Rauhineya. His Anuja. Anuja means Lord Krishna. Worshipped you. So within that reference is there in both of these kritis. Beauty is the story. Most of you will know, but since we always nice to recap. There was a king by name Satyajit. He was the father of Satyabhama. These are why I am saying Dikshitar's kritis are not only known for musical, tantric, etc. Even lot of mythology he brings in, plus the kshetra details. Satyajit, he worshipped Surya Deva, and Surya Deva gave him a very valuable gem called Semantaka. Many people wanted it, obviously. It was a very powerful gem, gave him a lot of power. Many people coveted it. Some people started saying Krishna also wanted it. And what happened? One day, Satyajit's brother Prasena wore the gem and went out hunting. He was attacked and killed by a lion in the forest. And the lion thought that red thing was something to eat, and it took away that gem in its mouth and ran. After it ran for a few miles, Jambavan came upon that lion. Jambavan from the Ramayana. He is a Chiranjeevi, Jambavan, so he is still alive. He fought with the lion, he killed that lion and he took the gemma, it's something nice, and then went and gave it to his small child to play in the cave. In the meantime, people started talking. Scandal mongers are always there, waiting for something to talk about, especially in Bhattadiri says in his Narayaniyam, when he says about this incident, Jananam Piyusham Bhavati Gudinam Dosha Kanika. Everyone started saying Krishna only stole that gem, Krishna only stole that. One person said, in the days when no email was there or WhatsApp chat, this message went all over like this fire. So the human nature is such that people are waiting for you to do something wrong, whether you do or not. He could have done, and that is enough. It becomes he must have done. 10th messages he has done, he must have done. So that is how Krishna got this apavada, loka apavada. It became too much to bear also. But the whole story is that Krishna showed the way. He worshipped Lord Ganesha, and then he started doing the sort of investigation. He went, he found Prasena's body, he found the lion's body, and then deduced someone else has taken that gem. He followed the trail and reached Jambavan's cave. Jambavan came out, and Krishna knew who Jambavan was. Jambavan didn't know that it was his own Lord Rama who had come. He didn't know. So he started fighting, and Krishna also went along with the game, because each time Jambavan did wrestling match. So on the bhaktas, they embrace. Usually Rama has done that only for Hanuman in Ramavatara. All the other Sugriva, maybe for Sugriva, all the other monkeys also wanted. Lord should embrace us, Lord should embrace us. Jambavan, from then on, he had that idea. So in this avatara, Krishna fulfilled that. So the wrestling match went on for a long time. Finally, he realized that, oh my God, with my own Prabhu I am wrestling. What is this? The realization came late. Then he went inside and gave him that Semantaka gem plus an added bonus. Nowadays, 1 plus 1 combo is the famous offer, right? His daughter Jambavati. Then Krishna came back, then proved his innocence to Satyajit, and then Satyajit gave the money as well as his daughter Satyabhama in wedding. Krishna very, very intelligently refused that money. No, I don't want that. Your daughter you are giving, I will take because I know she is in love with me. I take her not because I want her. She is really in love with me. So that's how Satyabhama wedding, the story of Semantaka gem. How much Dikshitar has condensed in one little phrase. That's what there are many other small kritis, Ekadantam, Ganesha Kumara, then you have Karikada Bhamukam. Kavya was mentioning that kriti. Karikada Bhamukam. It is on Dundi Ganesha. Dundi Ganesha is famous at Kashi. There is one Dundi Ganesha in Kaveri, Tula Ghat at Kaveri. It could be the place where Dikshitar composes, though it is not very 100%. Because Dikshitar says, Kaveri Tattvaloka Saveri Raganutam. Kaveri Tatasthitam Saveri. This kriti is in Saveri, right? Saveri Raganutam Dundi Ganesha. It could be a possibility because, of course, nowadays the Tula Ghat in Mayavaram, it is famous for that particular month, October month, November month. It is said all the rivers come there. A festival takes place there. Everyone goes and takes bath. It becomes a Prayagraj of the south. Now it is in shambles, thanks to our people and our government. But maybe in the time of Dikshitar, Kaveri must have been brimming there, and he must have sat on the ghats there. And something very dear to him, because there is a Kashi Vishwanatha temple on the Mayavaram Ghat there. That may have evoked his memories of Kashi, because that was perhaps after Tiruvarur, the place he was more attached was Kashi. Because there were his formative years he spent with his Guru, and he had, the feelings he had for his Guru. The minute I think about that gives me goosebumps. Because all that was Guru Anugraha which came flowing like that. So he may have remembered that Dundi Ganesha, that Vishwanatha there, and then sung this kriti. It is a probability, but not 100%. But that kriti is there. As I said, many other, Gajananayutam, Gadanayakam, Sri Gananatha, Isha Manohari, where he talks about the Lord as Nada Swarupa, Ekadantam, Lambodaraya, Rakta Ganapatim, Shweta Ganapatim, which is supposed to be composed in Tiruvalanchudi near Kumbakonam. There is a Shweta Vinayakar there. So then Vinayaka somewhere in Kanchi, Ganapati Mahamate, where he talks about Vinayaka as having 3 eyes. Many miscellaneous kritis. They are all small ones. They are also equally beautiful, not as much as this. So I just gave an outline. That's what I would say. It is not even maybe 10% of what Dikshitar's Ganapati's kritis have to reveal to us. Layers and layers keep coming through always. Still, I am really thankful all of you have given such a patient hearing. Really, because that matters, right? When I'm able to see how much you are interested in understanding and grasping the content. And very much thanks to Kavya, Sangeet, and everyone who made this possible. Persons who hosted me and my dear co-disciples. Being there is like my Guru sitting with me, along with me. Thank you. I should thank each one and every one of you.
We just would like to say, we feel very humbled that we are learning alongside her.
Guru Anugraha. Guru Anugraha. So once again, thank you all. If at all there is something good in what I spoke today, credit goes to my Gurus. As I said, Sangeetha Kala Acharya Smt, Seetha Narayanan, and Sri Gurudeva, who has been my spiritual guru, guide, philosopher, mentor, everything in my life. These 2 people are responsible. If there is anything faulty or mistake or any blemish, that is entirely mine. I own up to it. So with that, Shri Guru Guho Rakshatu. Sorry, I took some extra time also, I think. Please bear.
Now the floor is open for any questions.
Oh my God. The last time I answered those questions was in my Viva Hosi, a long time ago. I've lost the touch.
Is Kaustubha Mani same as Samantaka?
Huh?
Kaustubha?
No. Kaustubha Mani is a feature of Lord Vishnu. That is different. That came up during the Milky Ocean. When Milky Ocean was churned, it came up. This was given by Surya Deva to, it's a different one. Thank God I knew that answer.
Google.
Huh?
Mr. Google.
Is it Badami Ganapati outside Prabhavali is Badam? The shape is also looks like Badam. Badam almond. Badam.
That's a very nice way you're perceiving. Good, it could be. Yes. That is your perception. Perception is right. It looks like Badam. And I like the other point also you said, right? Bijapur. Dikshitar could have indicated, but this is how it looks right now there. Tell me.
Trikona Madhyavatam, that also looks
That also, yes, good. I'm glad you saw that. Yes, it does look like a triangle. Maybe that representation also, right? That is the Sthula representation. As I said, Sukshma is the Kundalini Shakti, the Mooladhara. Very good, very perceptive.
So I vaguely remember someone telling me years ago that you're not supposed to sing Dikshitar Kritis halfway and stop it or something. So do you have any advice to people who sing Dikshitar Kritis on any such thing?
Generally, any Mahan Kriti, you sing the whole thing fully.
Yeah, but this one, I'm like, you're not supposed to stop it halfway or something.
True, but the point is that if I had chosen to do that, I would not have been able to cover my...
I'm not talking about you, but when we sing.
When you sing, you're supposed to sing it fully. Yeah, because it is not only the Navavarna Kritis, it is said that all my gurus have known the Kritis have a lot of mantric concepts. So that mantra is not complete unless you sing the whole Kriti, right? Any creation. And that is why maybe even in Marathi tradition they call their compositions as abhang. No bhanga. Same thing even for compositions of Narayana Tirtha and the Ashtapati also. Though in Carnatic concert circles it is not so. They sing maybe the first and last charana. When you come to the Bhajan Sampradaya Bhajan, they insist that if you sing the Ashtapati, you sing all the paras. It may be in the same tune, but sing. Same goes for Narayana Tirtha's Tarangam also. So obviously Dikshitar also you are supposed to sing the whole thing. But Tyagaraja nowadays we are not able to do the same charanam, especially Utsava Sampradaya Kritis, even other Kritis you sing the first charanam and maybe the Mudra charanam. Technically you are supposed to sing the whole thing, but audience will not listen. Tune will be the same, right? So that is also there, and strains of the time constraint is always there. So either you adapt or the whole thing goes out of circulation. But Dikshitar Kriti definitely you cannot do like that, because as I said, Sanskrit and one whole picture he paints in one Kriti. So you cannot do it.
in Navaroj Kriti, that Himantri Tanaya, that is similar to Agajanana Padmarka.
Very true, very good. I would have wanted to mention, but I just left it silent. Yes, 100%. The same Agajanana Padmarkam. And the shloka also in the Todi Kriti which I sang in the end. Kapithambra Panasa Kapithambra Panasa Jambo Kadali Panabhakshitam. That also that comes. This Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam. Again, Bhutaganati also phrase occurs in. That's why shlokas and mantras are embedded in Dikshitar. They may be only at phrases, but you don't know, he already has a picture in mind. So that is one reason it has to be done for you. Anything else?
Is it because that Hamsa is coming like that Ajaba mantra is
Yes. Since it was little bit esoteric identity, but that Ajapa, he has mentioned the Ajapa mantra in many other kirtanas also. Tyagaraja related kirtanas, where you have Ajapa mantra, then Hamsollasini, that phrase occurs in Devi. But this is related to the sound of the swan, and sound of the swan is supposed to be the Ajapa mantra. When you take swan as Parabrahma Swarupa, then the sound becomes Pranava. When you take swan as the Jivatma, this sound becomes a Hamsa, the Ajapa mantra. So it could be that mantra is also embedded in Vatapi Ganapati also. And certain kritis like Anandeshwarena, once D.K. Patamal sang it in front of Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, the Paramacharya of Kanchi. And then he said, such kritis like this are not meant to be sung in front of concert. You either sing it, especially highly Vedantic, that is absolute out and out Vedantic kriti. Anandeshwarena Samrakshitoham. You sing it either in a temple in a Swami Sannidhi or in front of sannyasis. Especially Dikshitar kritis, many of them are like that. But after that, she will sing it on concert stage. And it is a very rare kriti also, Anandeshwarena. There are many Vedantic tenets where one or two are there, that is fine. When the whole kriti, and in fact even Navavarna kriti is also, though it is publicly available, with little amount of purity and little amount of this, it is better to sing it. We don't know, right, what kind of power. It's like an atom bomb. How you use it is what matters. You can either use it for destruction or use it for in constructive ways. When it is set for atomic energy itself, it is like that. For mantric and atomic energy, something relatively new concept compared to all these concepts of mantra. Mantra energies were harnessed by rishis of yore, even right from the early Vedas. So, energy power pack, how you use it really matters. Anything else?
Slide that
Yeah.
there are two murtis, right?
Yeah. Above. Trilikattamudi Vatapi Ganapati. Can you show that slide once again? You mean this?
Yes. In the first two, like, is there any significance of the turn in murti?
Yeah, the turn in Murti, and technically scholars have said this seems more of the South Indian Pallava Chola architecture type. Technically, I am talking on the research side. And this is more of Chalukya. And not only that, the Dikshitar's Kriti specifically mentions Mooladhara Kshetra Sthitam. Mooladhara Kshetra is Tirvaru. Based on that musical evidence itself, this Ganapati is what Dikshitar has sung Vata. This is there. I just wanted to tell you that there are two Atapis. That's why I showed. This you are right. The trunk, everything is different. You see the face, the features, everything.
I just wanted to know which one belongs to what kingdom.
This seems more of Chalukya. That's what scholars say. This seems more of the Pallava Chola type. You have in the famous Playarpatti temple. It's extremely famous in Tamil Nadu. The big Ganapati. That will be somewhat similar to this South Indian version. And actually you really don't know. In fact, in that the image is a little more different. So that may just be a painting, a representation in an old temple, or you really don't know what exactly was the Vatapi he brought from there, or was it there. These are all the available information. But since Dikshitar has mentioned Agastya Pujita and as I said Mooladhara Kshetra, this is tradition also affirms that musical tradition. This is the Vatapi Ganapati about which Dikshitar sang.
Ma'am, most of the Ganesha kritis I have heard will be in Hamsadvani. Do you have any comment?
Later tradition. Hamsadvani, the raga as such is very suitable for Ganapati. Maybe the tradition started only after Dikshitar composed Vatapi. I don't think that raga was there. It was composed by his father, right? So it was not existent before. And obviously it's a very appealing, catchy raga, and you can do a lot of musical exploration in that, like swara singing and all that. And maybe because of this, this kriti was made famous by all the stalwarts. Shemmangudi, then you have GNB, then you have Maharajapuram. So everyone they made it so famous that maybe Ganapati and Hamsadvani got connected with all the later composers. So Hamsadvani, Natai, these are all ragas usually used for Ganapati. But Dikshitar has shown, see all the ragas he has, I didn't tell the list, right? Kalyani, you have Saveri, you have Todi, you have Navaros, you have Megavahini, you have Chakravakam, and everything. Centuruli Ganesha Kumara Pahi. A very cute but very nice kirtana. Gajanana Yutam. That is another, it's a very deep sounding raga, not necessarily one with bright notes. Ganeshwaram, then you have Siddhivinayakam. Chamara, he calls that raga Chamara. So ragas are many, but we have, since we find Hamsadvani more appealing, we tend to associate that with raga.
One more question. Rakta Ganapati.
Yeah.
He uses first letter as Rasa. like Rakta Ganapati.
Raktambaradharam, Ragadveshaharam, yes. Ratna Simhasanapati. Phrases, alliteration is a very common. Alliteration and Swarakshara is a very feature of Dikshitar. As I said, Kare, Riga, Riga, Gari, Gari of the roads he uses there. Kari is the word. So like that, Narayana, I have. Thank you.
So usually in Adi
In Siddhi Vinayakam also. Asha Kushataram Pa he goes to the lower pa. Chhatra Chamada Pari, that line. Swarakshara just abound in Dikshitar. Anything else?
my question was in Adi Prasa second
Pardon me, can you be a little louder?
in Adi Prasa second swaram usually the same, but he uses first swaram.
That again depends on the kriti and the context. See, there is no hard and fast rule. If you have both first and second letter as prasa, you have to have it in all kritis. According to the word, as I said, in the Himadri Tanayanana Pankaja, Hiranya Garbhaya. That is Hima, this is Hiranya. So on that only the he is the common letter. So as and when the raga and the things, the flows, it comes. Anything else? What we sing now is the prevalent version. Sangeetha Sampradaya Pradashini, actually no one knows how exactly. There are notation symbols and there are people who have tried to sing kritis, not only Vatapi, other kritis also as per the Sangeetha Sampradaya Pradashini. But there is also one person who has done research on that, lost melodies, he calls it. Somehow it sounds different. It sounds very different. So you really don't have concrete evidence that this must have been that. But one another example I will say, though it is not Dikshitar related. The famous Kriti Abheri Nagumo. We all sing it, right? We sing it here with the Chatushruti Daivatam. In actual form of Abheri is supposed to have been with the Shuddha Daivatam. There are Vedavali, Mami, two others, they sing it in that only. That sounds so different. You are so stuck with this Nagamu, you cannot come out of that. And Dikshitar also has an Abheri Kriti. Veena Bheri Tenu Vadyadi Vinodini Vedine Raksha. That sounds so different. It is not this Abheri. So changes have over a period of time come. The point is you should have a good guru. We were fortunate to have one again. With a good, extremely solid Pathantara. That is where the tradition, the Sampradaya, the Pathantaram you are receiving, that guru, that guru's guru, the way it has been transmitted, that remains, at least the kernel, the shell will be there. Sangadis will change. The Vatapi itself, he sang some 2 or 3 different Sangadis in some different places. Some others sing it in a different way. So that is where the tradition comes in, oral tradition of learning. And how it was sung during the time of SSP, as I said, nowadays researchers have brought it. But that is a different feel about it, different weather about it. So you won't be able to.
So this Abheri and Karnataka Devakantari, they are the same.
Sort of. The way. No, Shuddha Devatam doesn't come in Nagmo. It came, but it is not there now. I read an article about that, so I wanted to share that information because Nagumomu is a very popular Kirtana and you just cannot think of it in any other form than what we are hearing now. So that is where your oral tradition, if someone sings Nagumomu like that, no, they are singing something wrong, you feel like going away. So the point, ultimately, the composer's soul is there in each Kriti, right? When we sing it with bhakti, that all matters. Ultimately. But when we think of it in a scholarly way, we do have questions, we do need answers, that is there. I'm happy that you have so many questions to ask in such a technically dry subject, but still good. Yes, please.
We had this discussion once on our Sanskrit Sangha WhatsApp group.
Yes?
Suppose discussion was about Dikshitar kritis.
Sorry.
Dikshitar kritis. Does it, the Sahitya at least, does it follow the Kavya Shastra rules of Sanskrit? Does it have that?
Okay, Kavya Shastra you have Navarasas, right? Here you don't have that. Here you have only Bhakti Rasa predominant. Navarasas are there in poetry. When you go to poetics, it's a totally different area altogether. Sahitya, totally different. Sahitya, this is one portion. You can say Bhakti Sahitya. It conforms entirely to the Bhakti Rasa oriented. And grammatically also I said Vibhakti Kirtanes. There is a lot of scope on that grammar side. But I think probably Dikshitar or maybe our gurus will probably say Bhaja Govindam, Samprapte Sangeetha Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati. That is very much necessary. Vibhakti is very much necessary. Otherwise, Dikshitar would not have composed so many Vibhakti Kirtanes. The point is, in those Kirtanes, what an ordinary person finds is more of Bhakti rather than Vibhakti. Only if you are a little bit knowledgeable about Sanskrit, you know about this Vibhakti and all that, you feel like thinking that way. But that's a good question. Obviously, Dikshitar had knowledge of Kavya Shastra. Otherwise, as I said, the poetical usages, Imadri Tanayanana Pankaja Hiranya Garbhaya, then Shankaram Soma Kula Bika Bhoja Madhupam. Who can sing like this? Aparnabja Bringam, he says in, I think, Jambupade. Those usages are so poetically rich. This one I sang was from Sri Valmika Lingam in Kamboji Ragam. Soma Kulambikam Bhoja Madhupam. But especially in that shrine, that Soma Kulambika Ambal just sits right in front of that Valmika Linga at Tiruvarur. And she is so beautiful. She sits in with one leg like this, and leaning like this. So no wonder Dikshitar could have sung that. That poetry was also there, though Vedanta and Mantra. Point is to tell all that in a musically, in a poetical way also. That is his greatness. Anything else? Yes?
So, thank you everyone. So, I would like to invite Shanmukha Manna for listening.
Once again, thank you. It was a lovely session. Kamakshi. Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite Mathura for comments.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to express our heartfelt gratitude as we draw memorable event to a close. First and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to
Call me just Asha, that is enough. There is extra fittings.
Dr. Asha ma'am for graciously accepting our invitation and sharing her enriched knowledge and traveling all the way from Chennai. Her enlightening lecture on the insights into Muthuswami Dikshitar's Ganesha kritis and her general sharing of rich knowledge has truly impressed us. Thank you, ma'am, for your
Pleasure. May Dikshitar bless all of you.
I also wish to thank each member of the audience for embellishing today's program with your attentive presence. A special note of thanks is due to the Registrar of ISC for kindly granting us the permission for this event. And finally, I express my appreciation to the officials of Ideal Building for providing us with a comfortable space to convene this today. Thank you all once again. Have a great day.
Sorry for the